Keshavadrita Kurma Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Vasati dashana shikhare dharani tavalagna Shashinikalanka kale vane magna Keshavadrita Shukararupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Avakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Oh, okay. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Chalayasi Vikramane Balamadbhuta Vamana Paranakani Rajanita Janapava Keshavadrita Vamana Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Kshatriya Rudhiramaye Jagadapagata Papam Snapayasi Payasi Shamita Bhavatapam Keshavadrita Bhrigupati Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare. Vitarasi Dikhurane Dikpati Kamaniyam Dashamukhamoli Balim Ramaniyam. Keshavadrita Rama Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Vahasi Vipeshi Vashade Vipushi Vishade Visanam Jaladabham Halahati Bhiti Milita Yamunabham. Keshavadrita Haladhara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Siyang yavidhera hahashuti jatam Sadaya hridaya darshita pashukatam. Keshavadrita Buddha Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Janivaha nidhane kalayasi karavalam Dhumaketumeva kimapai karalam. Keshavadrita Kalki Sharira Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Shri Jaya Deva Kaverina Mudita Mudaram Shurnu Sukhadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram. You want to lead? I can't do this.
Shri Jaya Dev Kaviridam Uditam Dadaram Shinu Shukadam Shukadam Bhavasaram. Shri Jaya Dev Kaviridam Uditam Dadaram Shinu Shukadam Shukadam Bhavasaram. Keshavadhrita Dashavidarupa Jaya Jagadisha Hari Jaya Jagadisha Hari Jaya Jagadisha Hari Vasati Dashana Shikare Dharani Tavalagna Shashanikalanka Kaleva Nimagna Keshavadhrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadhrita Shukara Rupa Keshavadhrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadhrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Ki Jaya. Just go. Jayam Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Pravitacharya Shtotra Shataman A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jayam Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Pravitacharya Shtotra Shataman Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Kodi Vaishnavas ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Prem Sikha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakti ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Govinath Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Vahad Varaha Dwadasi ki Samveda Bhaktivinoda ki all glory to somebody for Hare Krishna, all glory to somebody for Hare Krishna, all glory to somebody for Hare Krishna, all glory to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glory to Srila Prabhupada.
So Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Canto 3, text, whoever's on the, Canto 3, text 8, chapter 18, text 6. So 3:18:6.
Well, this is second. He's passing Prasadam on.
Oh, okay. Should I not?
I guess we can break it.
Yes, 3:18:6. Okay. So we're gonna go to the. Okay. Saha Tudyamanaha Ari Durukta Tomarahi Damstra Agra Gam Gam Upalakshya Bidam Todam Mishan Niragat Ambumadyat Graha Ahataha Sakarenuhu Yata Ibaha. Okay. Satu Jamano Viduraktato Marar Damastragra Gam Gam Upalakshabitam Todam Mishan Niragaram Bhumadyad Graha Hata Sakarine Yate Baha Satudyamano Viduraktato Marar Damshragra Gam Gam Upalakshabitam Todam Risham Niragaram Bhumadyad Graha Hata Karinur Yate Baha Satudyamano Viduraktato Marar Damshagra Gam Gam Upalakshabitam Todam Rishan Niragaram Bhumadyad Graha Hata Sakaranur Yate Baha. Please repeat. Satudyamano Viduraktato Marar Damshraga Gam Gam Upalakshabitam Todam Rishan Niragadam Bhumadyad Graha Hata Sakarane Yate Braha Satudyamano Viduraktato Marar Damshraga Gam Gam Upalakshabitam Todam Risham Niragadam Bhumadyad Graha Hata Sakarane Yate Bhyaha Satudyamano Viduraktato Marar Damshraga Gam Gam Upalakshabitam Sham Niragadam Bhumadyad Graha Hata Sakarane Yate Bhyaha Satudyamano Viduraktato Marar Damshraga Gam Gam Upalakshabitam Todam Risham Niragadam Bhumadyad Graha Hata Sakarane Yate Bhyaha. Mataji. Satujamano vidaraktato mare. Dam shaga gam gam ubalaksha vidam. Todam risham niragaram bhumadyad. Gahata sakayoneyate byaha. Satujamano vidaraktato mare. Dam shaga gam gam ubalaksha vidam. Todam risham niragaram bhumadyad. Grahata sakaraneyate byaha. Okay, word for word translation. Saha, he. Tujamanaha, being pained. Ari, of the enemy. Durakta, by the abusive words. Toma rahihi, by the weapons. Damshra on the ends of his tusk. Gam, situated. Gam, the earth. Upalaksha, seeing. Bidam, frightened. Todam, the pain. Mishan, bearing. Niragat, he came out. Ambu Madyat, from the midst of the water. Graha, by a crocodile. Ahataha, attacked. Sakarenuhu, along with the she-elephant. Yata, as. Ibaha, an elephant. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Although the Lord was pained by the shaft-like abusive words of the demon, he bore the pain. But seeing that the earth on the ends of his tusks were frightened, he rose out the water just as an elephant emerges with its female companion when assailed by an alligator. Purport. The Mayavadi philosopher cannot understand that the Lord has feelings. The Lord is satisfied if someone offers him a nice prayer, and similarly, if someone decries his existence or calls him by ill names, God is dissatisfied. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is decried by the Mayavadi philosophers, who are almost demons. They say that God has no head, no form, no existence, and no legs, hands, or other bodily limbs. In other words, they say that he is lame or dead. All these misconceptions of the Supreme Lord are a source of dissatisfaction to him. He is never pleased with such atheistic descriptions. In this case, although the Lord felt sorrow from the piercing words of the demon, he delivered the earth for the satisfaction of the demigods, who are his ever devotees. The conclusion is that God is as sentient as we are. He is satisfied by our prayers and dissatisfied by our harsh words against him. In order to give protection to his devotee, he is always ready to tolerate insulting words from the atheist. Om Jnana Timiranda Shaganandana Salakaya Chakshu Om Litamina Tashma Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shita Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sa Shri Rupam Sagadatam Saharagunatvitam Tam Sijivam Sadvedam Savaduta Pradijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shiva Shakan Vitam Sha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bando Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Namostate Tapta Kancha Go Rangi Radha Vidavaneshri Vishabana Sudha Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatu Vaisha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patita Nam Pavimbayo Vaishnave Bhayo Namo Namah Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Namane. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Narishya Shunyavadi Pasacha Dashitarne. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, I read the translation one more. Although the Lord was pained by the shaft-like abusive words of the demon, he bore the pain. But seeing that the earth on the ends of his tusks was frightened, he rose out of the water just as an elephant emerges with his female companion when assailed by an alligator. So today is the appearance day of Lord Varaha. It's a very auspicious day. Any day where the Lord appears is very auspicious. And of course, we all know he appears for two reasons: to protect his devotees and annihilate the miscreants. And in this pastime, I chose this verse specifically because both are being mentioned in here. As far as him, saving the earth from the Garbhodaka waters, and then also tolerating the offenses of the demon Hiranyaksha. So, this class, giving like a roadmap, this class is going to be, briefly going to talk about the Leela, but then within the Leela, I'm going to break down some of the philosophy that can be applicable to our lives. I like to give roadmaps. So, Leela is also we should always, be absorbed in Christian Leela, but we should also try to apply the essentials of the Leela to our daily lives. So, ultimately, Krishna comes to perform extraordinary pastimes. Okay? Well, there's many reasons why he comes, as Mr. Vaughn has given a class, I think on John Mashmi he said that. But one reason is to perform extraordinary pastimes, and another, for us to be attracted to him. We're attracted to so many nonsense things, so he comes for us, actually, so we can be attracted to him. Also, he comes for his own Leela. Krishna likes to enjoy. He's the supreme enjoyer. So he gets enjoyment out of fighting demons. He can't fight demons in Goloka Vrindavan because there aren't any demons there. Except for us, that's why we came down here. But the point is, he comes so for us to be attracted to his Leela. So a brief overview of the Varaha pastime. So Lord Brahma, in the beginning of the creation, he saw that the earth was submerged in the Garbhodaka waters, the ocean. And he contemplated the situation. Side note, even in the management, something goes wrong. You see even at the topmost of Lord Brahma, things go wrong. Nature of the material world, things are always gonna go wrong. It's faulty. Something's bound to go wrong. So in the beginning of creation, the earth fell, in the Garbhodaka waters, and Lord Brahma, he just contemplated the situation. He said, okay, what do I do? And in the midst of his contemplation, Lord Varaha came from his nostril. And that's pretty interesting because Lord Brahma at this moment, he didn't actually pray to Krishna to come, but Krishna knew his heart, he knew his desire. It said in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, in one purport, that the desires of the living entity is known by the Krishna just as the aroma is to a flower. So you know a flower by its aroma. Similarly, Krishna knows our desires. He knows what we want just by our desires, because he's sitting right next to the Paramama. So he knew, Lord Ra knew the desire of Lord Brahma, and he came on it said the tip of his thumb, this very small portion of the thumb, he came out of his nose. And this is extraordinary because it shows that Krishna is the smallest of the smallest and the biggest of the biggest. He came out really small, and he expanded to a form big enough to lift the whole earth. So he's bigger than biggest, smaller than the smallest. So after the earth was submerged, he picked the earth up. And as he was picking the earth up, the demon Hiranyaksha saw this. He got envious. A battle ensued, and then he killed the demon. That's a brief overview. I'm going to go more in detail in each, but that's a brief overview of the pastime. So, like I said, these pastimes are meant to attract our mind. The mind has 3 functions: thinking, willing, and feeling. So thinking is very important because what we think is what we say, what we speak, okay? If our mind is thinking of nonsense, we're going to say nonsense, we're going to perform nonsense. So we should think about these pastimes. We just read, they just sang the Dasha Avatar Shrotra. At the end of it, it says that by remembering these pastimes, all auspiciousness comes to us. So we become auspicious just by hearing and listening to these pastimes. So the mind, when we think about these pastimes, we become auspicious. So these pastimes are very, very important to think about and to meditate on, especially on days like this. We really realize the mercy of Krishna for coming down, even without us even asking. Without even asking, he comes and saves us. Like I said, Lord Brahma didn't even ask for him to come, but he came because he knew it was necessary. Krishna will always do what's necessary for the protection of his devotees. So, ultimately, Krishna has he has all of his expansions and incarnations. He has a consort. So when Krishna came, delivered the earth is actually an eternal consort of Krishna, Bhudevi, and he lifted her up out the waters. This is pretty interesting actually, because one child of Bhudevi and Varahadev is Naraka, a demon. Is anybody, I don't want to give a quiz or anything, but does anybody recognize this demon Naraka from Krishna Lila besides Vishnu? Do you know? No. Which pastime did Naraka perform Krishna Lila? Well, I'm not 100% sure about that, but it's a certain Leela that he performed in Krishna Leela. Like, what do you know that Leela that Naraka did? Nobody knows. Anyways, it's a chapter in the Bhagavatam and also in Krishna book that Naraka Ashura, he kidnapped 16,100 wives. I mean, no, his mates, damsels, and Krishna actually rescued them, and then he expanded himself after rescuing these wives. It's interesting how like Krishna's pastimes are all intertwined. You know, it's like when I read that, I was pretty shocked. Like, oh wow, like Bhudevi and Varahadev, they had a child with Naraka, but this also came in Krishna Lila because he kidnapped all these like damsels and then Krishna saved them. So I don't know, I thought that was interesting. Anyways, side point. But anyways, it's interesting because how is that Naraka is the son of Varahadev and Bhumi Devi? He's a demon though. How can a demon? A question can arise: how can a demon be the son of the same person in Godhead? But ultimately, we're all his children, both the demons and the devotees. Just as devotees take advantage of his mercy, okay? And even if the demons don't take advantage of his mercy, he'll come personally and kill you, and he'll deliver you. So ultimately, whether you're a devotee or a demon, you're a child of Krishna. We're all part of the same family, as the devotee Sankirtan Yoga Prabhu would say. We're all part of the same family. So, like I said, these pastimes are meant to attract our mind. So as far as lifting the earth, Bhudevi, so he saved the earth from being submerged in the Garbhodaka ocean. And it says that, Gumaraj says the point that he did it by his Dharanya Shakti, which is ultimately gravity. So pretty much he lifted up the earth, reinstated it, and he maintained it by his gravity. And it's like the scientists cannot understand this. They cannot understand how the planets are moving, how they're being maintained. And things is some just like amorphous energy, ultimately is Krishna maintaining everything, as what like pearls are strung on the thread. So he lifted up the ocean and maintained it by his Dharanya Shakti. And he did this why? Why did he do this? Well, ultimately there's a word in Vishnu Sahasranam, His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj actually gave a lecture on this word on this very seat. It's Shanta. Shanta, he who extends himself down to pick us up. That's the word of Shanta. So Krishna, he makes it his duty to extend his mercy down to pick us up, ultimately. And why? Ultimately, this pastime, if you make analogous to our own lives, we have also fallen in the ocean of material existence. We've fallen in the ocean of material existence, and Krishna picks us up always. He's always willing there to pick us up, even without us calling for it, like Lord Brahma. He didn't call for Vishnu to come, but he came out of his own will. This is why these pastimes are so benevolent, because it shows the supremacy of Krishna and the love he has for his devotees. Krishna loves us more than we love him, actually. We have no love for Krishna. We love our ego, our pride. We love sense gratification. We don't love Krishna. But even in the process of turning our face from Krishna, Krishna still is there to pick us up without us even calling for him. And in this age of Kali, just how Lord Varaha picked up the earth with his tusk, Lord Chaitanya is picking us up with this tusk of the holy name. Ultimately, we just have to be willing to be picked up. He's trying to pick us up, but we're so stubborn when we're stuck in the water of material existence. All we have to do is be willing to receive the mercy. Okay, all we have to do is be willing to receive the mercy. And then in the Shikshashtakam, Lord Chaitanya makes that point that I fall in the ocean of material existence. Please pick me up. Please pick me up. I'm falling in this ocean. So Krishna comes down to pick us up. He came down this pastime to pick up the earth. And actually, Gumaraj, His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami, made the point that Krishna's greatest glory is, do anybody remember? He gave what is Krishna's greatest glory? He gave it in reference to that verse Shanta. Yeah. But he said something specifically. You probably don't. Anyways, he says Krishna's greatest glory is him giving himself to his devotees. It's really interesting. God will give himself to you. That's his greatest glory. He doesn't have to do so, but he does it because ultimately you have the Bhakta, you have Bhakti and Bhagavan. Bhakti ultimately controls Bhagavan. Pure Bhakti, you know? So Krishna gives himself to his devotees through Bhakti. But we're practicing mixed devotional service. Well, I am at least. And because it's not pure, it's not with the motive of purely striving to serve Krishna, purely striving to perform his duties. Lord Brahma actually, when he saw the earth was submerged, he had a pure desire. He said, how can I fix this? It wasn't that like, oh, I want to fix it so I can get the glory. No, he had this because Lord Brahma was put in that position by Krishna, and that was his duty. We all have duties to perform, and Krishna will help us perform these duties when there's mismanagement. But, we have to have a pure desire to serve. Actually, we've been going through that in the third canto, that, the demigods also prayed, engaging in service. He had a pure desire to serve. We had to always keep a pure desire to serve, and Krishna will always be there for us. Why? Because he has a protective nature. And in the purport of the verse I just read, it says that, and you don't have to go to it, but in order to give protection to his devotees, he's always ready to tolerate insulting words from the atheists. He's always ready to tolerate insulting words from atheists in order to give protection to his devotees. And you see this in Krishna's Leela, like you see this with the Kalayavana. Krishna, he ran away from battle, and he was insulting him. You coward, why are you running, you coward? Just blaspheming God. But Krishna tolerated it. Why? Because he knew Muchukunda he wanted to deliver his devotee. So you see this quite often, how Krishna would tolerate the offenses of atheists and demons just so he can deliver his devotee. You see this a lot of Krishna's pastimes. So, like I said, he becomes bounded by our love, and he protects his devotees from falling into Maya again, actually. So once we start the process of Krishna's consciousness, it's mentioned in Nectar of Instruction, I think in the first verse maybe, or second verse, I don't remember. But it says that, Prabhupada says that once you begin the process of Krishna consciousness, you will forcibly dragged to success. Why? Because Krishna, like I said, he loves us more than we love him. He will make it a point to make sure you are successful in your execution of Krishna consciousness. It might not be this lifetime, but once you start, you're forcibly dragged to success. All we need to do is have faith in the process of Krishna, Bhagavan, and these pastimes. Like, he's even mentioned that the atheists, the miscreants, they can't understand how Krishna has feelings. They can't understand how he has a form, how there's personality. Okay? And even so, growing up in this demonic culture, we also have this ambiguous form of God. He's just some pie in the sky. That how can God be a boar? How can God be a pig? It's really bewildering, actually. But it's actually described that when Lord Varaha came out, the nose of Lord Brahma, that the rishis and sages in the upper planets, they were a little puzzled at first, but they recognized that he was God. One, because he was made this roar. Another, because he's so beautiful. He's exquisitely beautiful. But in the material sense, being a pig is like, oh my God, how can a pig be beautiful? But in the transcendental sense, Lord Varaha is exquisitely beautiful. And the rishis, the devotees who are fixed, they can understand the activities of Krishna. They can understand by what his opulence is, his beauty. Even when Krishna comes down in the form of Radha, he's still beautiful. How can we understand this? So, like I said, Krishna ultimately gives protection to his devotees. He came down in this pastime to give protection to Bhumi Devi, his eternal consort, and ultimately the consorts of Krishna. They're exemplar devotees. Like, for example, Radharani, she's described as the greatest devotee of Krishna, even though she's, I'm not getting right at the top of it, but she's, one sense, she's the energy of Krishna, non-different. But she's the greatest devotee of Krishna, nonetheless. Why? Because she's always absorbed in thought of him. So, for us, though, we have been conditioned for thousands of lives, so we forget that Krishna is only means of sustenance. It's a verse, Sariram Yadav Abnoti, Yakchap Yud Kramatishvara, Grihit Vaitani Samyati, Vayurgandani Vashayat. That through these lifetimes, we carry our misconceptions from body to body. So through body to body, we're carrying these misconceptions of God, of mind, nature, of everything. We're carrying these misconceptions from body to body as the air is carrying aromas. So Krishna protecting his devotees from these misconceptions. We have so many misconceptions about who God is. We have so many misconceptions of who a devotee is. We don't even know. We're so foolish that we can't even recognize who a devotee is. So Krishna protects his devotees. He reinstills them, and Krishna wants to make his devotees glorious. Actually, he wants to. Why? Because he has feelings for his devotee. And I want to talk about that a little bit. How Krishna has feelings. It's mentioned in the purport that the conclusion is that God is as sentient as we are. He is satisfied by our prayers and dissatisfied by our harsh words against him. So God has feelings. Krishna has feelings. And he's dissatisfied when we use harsh words against him and his devotees. We cannot be committed to be remaining on the neophyte platform. Being committed to remain on the neophyte platform is blaspheming devotees, not seeing them in their true perspective. So if you look at the Prashettas, for example, I'm contrasting that. The Prashettas, Krishna, they weren't actually, I think they were practicing like mixed devotional service, I think, right? They weren't even practicing pure devotional service when they were with Lord Shiva, they were going down. The Prashettas, yeah. They're like, it's like mixed devotional. I don't think it was pure devotional service. They did it off they performed bhakti to please off the order of their father. But ultimately, the point is, they in themselves weren't pure devotees, but because they got along, Krishna became satisfied with them. That's the point. Even if you're not on the pure platform, if you just get along with the devotees, then Krishna's satisfied with you. But if you blaspheme devotees, you use harsh words against devotees, how can you expect to receive the Krishna's mercy? How can you expect to receive the mercy of Krishna and you're constantly being harsh against devotees? It's not possible. We have to see devotees in a light that Krishna sees them. And we can't even attain Krishna without the mercy of devotees and the Vaishnavas. But yet we're so foolish, we think that we can go straight to Krishna without the devotees in our group. Even, the Christians have the concept of it's just me and Jesus, I don't know saints, it's just me and Jesus. We come in also with these misconceptions, it's just me and Krishna. Or it's just me and my guru. But ultimately, the disciples of the guru, we should respect them just as much as the guru, actually. It's not that I respect my guru, but I don't care about his disciples. This is a neophyte understanding. So Krishna has feelings. He has feelings, as is mentioned in his purport. And it said that also in the purport, or in the translation, actually. Yeah, although the Lord was pained by the shaft-like abusive words of the demon, he bore the pain. He bore it. Wow, Krishna's tolerance. No pun intended. So Krishna's like, although Krishna did not like to hear the abusive words of the demon, in order to protect his devotee, he put his own feelings aside to help his devotee. This is a sign of his renunciation. He's very renounced, so much so that he's pained. He's saying he's pained. The Lord is pained. But he put his pain aside to protect his devotee. Krishna is very, very, very merciful, and, he's not only is he pained by the harsh words of the Mayavadis and the atheists, he's pained by rebellion against him. Krishna is pained to see that we're not turning our face towards him. He's pained, he's crying tears of pain, wanting for us to just turn our face towards him. When are we going to take this life seriously? How many lifetimes are we going to be consumed in ignorance and pride? How many lifetimes? We have to have the resolute determination that this life is meant for Krishna. This is how we make advancement in Krishna consciousness, by developing the resolution that this life is meant to serve Krishna. And these pastimes give us faith in Krishna's protection in us. So, like I said, he has feelings. He was pained, but he put his pain aside to protect his devotee. And if you go to the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Adi Lila, chapter 4, chapter 4, text 60. Yeah, 60. Okay, so you can go to the translation. So the Haladini Shakti gives Krishna pleasure and nourishes his devotees. So go all the way down to the, like, pretty much the last, go to the last verse. I mean, last paragraph, yeah. And then go up a little bit. Go up. Right there. Go down. Right there. So there, you see where it says therefore? Can you finish that sentence? Yeah, okay. So therefore, devotional service reciprocated between the Lord and his devotee is an exhibition of the transcendental pleasure and potency of the Lord. So the reason why I want to bring this verse up is that, like I said, Krishna has feelings for his devotees. And he reciprocates this through the Haladini Shakti. So this is the pleasure potency of the Lord. And in order to even reciprocate with Krishna, we have to be above the modes of material nature. We have to be in Suddha Sattva. And Suddha Sattva, this Haladini Shakti, is prevalent. And once we go into the Suddha Sattva platform or beyond the modes of material nature, we can fully reciprocate the feelings that Krishna has for us. As long as we're in contaminated modes of material nature, we can't actually experience this. Even if you go down to the last sentence of this. So the Haladini potency gives the Lord all transcendental pleasure, and the Lord bestows such a potency upon his pure devotee. So ultimately, it's by Krishna's mercy that we get the bliss. It's by Krishna's mercy that we can reciprocate with him. Right now, practicing mixed devotional service, he's reciprocating, yes, but the problem is, because we still have our anarthas, we still have our material desires, that reciprocation is tinged by our own desires. So he wants to fully reciprocate us on the spiritual platform with this Haladini Shakti, which is the ultimate bliss, actually. But because we have desires to enjoy, he loves us, so he won't have a desire to enjoy, then he'll give us some facility to enjoy matter. But he's doing that out of love for us, just so we can get frustrated with these material facilities that he's giving us. But ultimately, we have to rise above the material modes of nature to fully reciprocate with this Haladini Shakti. So we have to be above the modes of material nature. And these pastimes, it puts us above the modes of material nature. Just by listening to these pastimes, any pastime by Krishna, automatically, those who are simple-hearted, though, that's the key. You know, a demon can sit here and he can listen to it, but he won't feel any pleasure, actually. A demon won't feel any pleasure by these pastimes because his heart is hard. He has a hard heart. But those who are simple-hearted and have faith in Krishna, they receive this pleasure. We have to be simple. Actually, there's a class by Gaur Govinda Maharaj, and he said that, I don't listen to him so much. I just heard one, he just popped up on my YouTube. But they just popped up like a short. He was saying, like, Vaishnavism means simplicity. Vaishnavism means simplicity. Okay, we have to be simple. Simple meaning we're satisfied just by hearing the pastimes of Krishna. When we start these Varnashram Dharma projects, we have to be simple-hearted with understanding the point of the projects. Yes, I actually heard a lecture by Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. He was saying, like, the most important things about this project is that he said cow protection is there, protecting Brahmanas is there, but actually more important than that is giving facilities for all devotees, grasses, whatever, to hear about Krishna 24/7. So it's not that, we go to these projects, I'm working so much, but I'm working on farming, but like I don't have enough time to actually attend the programs. No, this is nonsense. Guru Maharaj said this is nonsense. You know, the point of these projects actually is so we can absorb ourselves and go to these sessions and absorb ourselves in Krishna Katha all day. That is the most important thing with the Varnashram Dharma projects. The most important thing. But we have to be simple-hearted. We have to be simple. And simplicity means understanding that ultimately Krishna is the only means of our sustenance. Nothing in this material world can give us sustenance. Only Krishna. That's the only means of our sustenance. As this verse says, Krishna gives his Haladini Shakti to his devotees and it satisfies them. We get satisfaction from it. So like I said, we have to be above the modes. And it's also mentioned in this verse that Krishna likes it when we glorify him. He gets pleasure. It's not trying to please your boss, trying to please your parents, your significant other, your spouse, whatever. It's not possible in this material world. You can never please somebody on the material platform. Never. Although they might expect it, your parents expect you, why are you not doing this? I want you to do this, why are you not pleased? Even if you did, say, the brahmacharis here, they wanted you went to school, you did this, I'll be pleased if you just did this and this. They will never be satisfied. There's no material solution to any of your material problems. They'll never be satisfied. Only thing that can satisfy us is being in touch with Krishna consciousness. Only thing that can satisfy us is the descriptions of Lord Varahadev. These are the only things that can truly satisfy us. And if we're not satisfied, then we can do some introspection and realize, okay, maybe I have these material desires. That's why I'm not satisfied here in these pastimes. That's why I'm not satisfied in the association of devotees. If you're not satisfied in the association of devotees, you are in Maya. So it's also mentioned that there's these misconceptions. There's misconceptions about who God is. Nobody really knows who God is, actually. Ask the Christians who is God. They don't know. Nobody knows who God is. But we do know. It's given in the Vedic scriptures. It's not something that's like just made up. It's something that's been handed down since time immemorial. We know who God is. We know the process of attaining God. And these pastimes are meant to clear our misconceptions about God. God is not satisfied with our misconceptions. He's also not satisfied with our misconceptions about, wanting to be in this material world. So, we should always strive to satisfy Krishna. This is the highest goal of life. And as far as him killing, so this is, okay, so I was speaking on the feelings of Krishna in pursuant to the point that he saved Bhumi Devi. So he saved Bhumi Devi because he had this intense feeling for her, to save her. Even though he was getting insulted by the demon Hiranyaksha, he had an intense desire to save her. Because he has, like I said, these transcendental emotions. He was exhibiting this Haladini Shakti at that time. So as far as that's that pastime, as far as I just gave a philosophical debrief of it, but that was the pastime of him lifting the earth. Now, as far as him killing the demon Hiranyaksha, so in the pastime is mentioned that Varahadev and Hiranyaksha, they fought for some time. It's interesting, same thing with like Nrsimhadev and Hiranyakashipu. And they fought for some time because it's like Krishna. He has feelings. He likes to play. He likes to fight. This is his chivalry. He likes to be happy. He likes to enjoy. So he fought for some time, and then Lord Brahma saw that Lord Brahma came on scene. He saw that Krishna was enjoying a little too much. He's like, okay, this demon, you're fighting with this demon. This demon's been harassing us. So Hiranyaksha actually is interesting. It's mentioned that when Hiranyakashipu performed his austerities and Lord Brahma bestowed him with these benedictions, Hiranyaksha actually shared those benedictions with him. I didn't know that. I did some research, but Hiranyaksha also became it can be killed in daytime, nighttime, stuff like that. He also shared in that. So only Krishna, Lord Varahadev, can kill Hiranyaksha ultimately. He was very powerful. So when Lord Brahma saw that, he said, Lord, you're like, I'm summarizing what he was saying. I'm not going to go through all the prayers, but he was saying like, my Lord, I understand you're sporting with this demon, but this demon has been terrorizing us. The demon guys are scared, we ask you to please resolve this issue. And immediately Krishna said, okay, playtime's enough. He gave him a slap. Boom. It's funny because he's fighting with a mace, hitting him in the face with a mace, all this, and he's not getting killed. With the mere slap, he kills him. It's just it just shows that, it's just Krishna, with the mere slap of his hand, he can kill our demonic desires. Where a mere slap of his hand, that's it. All we have to do is be willing to accept his chastisement. Actually, the chastisement of the Lord is his mercy, actually. When the Lord chastises his devotees, or the Guru chastises devotees, that's his mercy. Prabhupada said like that. Prabhupada said, when I chastise my devotees, that means he really cares for them, his disciples. When he doesn't chastise you, that means he doesn't really care. So the chastisement of the Lord just shows that, the Lord will put us in situations where we feel he loves us, actually. So like I said, this demon, the reason why the fight ensued, because as Overall went to go pick up the earth, Hiranyaksha saw oh, what are you doing with that? He felt like he owned the whole territory, or the whole universe. He said, what do you do? He became envious. Who is this boar, and he says, amphibious beast, who is this beast coming to take my property? These demons, the nature of a demon is they think everything belongs to them. Everything belongs to them. Although they didn't create it, somehow they have this mentality that everything belongs to them, And I was telling the story to Avadu Chandra Prabhu how somebody asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you say that, the pure devotees, they only see Krishna. So what do you see when you see this tree? And Prabhupada responded, I see a tree, but I see that's Krishna's tree. So that's the difference. A demon sees this tree as a means of exploiting it. But devotee sees the tree as, no, this is in relation to Krishna. It's very slight difference of vision, but it makes tremendous impact. Tremendous, just by seeing everything is meant for Krishna's enjoyment, Krishna's service. It's not for my exploitation. So the demons, Hiranyaksha, he couldn't understand the supremacy of Krishna, even though he's in this form of a boar. It's funny though, because like they said, the great sages, they saw it was a boar, but he saw he was incredibly beautiful. So he's like, okay, this must be Krishna. The way he came out as a very small, at the tip of a thumb, and expanded. They understand he was Krishna, but the demons, they cannot understand. They cannot understand the supremacy of Krishna. So the reason why they can't is because bad association ultimately is bad association. They don't know who their real well-wishers are. Actually, it's funny because Hiranyaksha, when he began his terrorizing the universe, he actually wanted to fight, I think it was Varuna. He wanted to fight Varuna, and Varuna was like, I'm not going to fight you. Like, I'm too old. I'm not fighting you. And then Varuna said, I won't fight you, but so I know somebody will fight you. Vishnu. Vishnu will fight you, and he will kill you. And then Hiranyaksha was like, nah, nobody can kill me. I'm invincible. So even after Varuna was his well-wisher, this was his well-wisher. He's telling him that you will be killed by Krishna. And demons are so misguided. They confuse their well-wishers. They think their enemies are their friends, and their well-wishers are their enemies. Demons cannot understand who their real well-wishers are. They can't understand this. But we have to, even as in the sight of devotees, we have to understand who our real well-wishers are. Devotees who are chastising us and helping us grow, these are our well-wishers. Devotees who encourage your nefarious deeds they're your enemies. Anybody who encourages your nefarious deeds is not your well-wisher. The ego wants to hear, yes, everything I'm doing is right, nothing I can do is wrong. This Hiranyakashipu mentality, Hiranyaksha mentality. I'm so great, I'm so opulent, nobody can tell me nothing. This is a demon mentality. You associate with those who encourage this, they're not your well-wishers, they're your enemies. So, like I said, I don't know if this is going a little bit over time, but the point is, we should always be absorbed in this Krishna Leela. But it's also mentioned in 11th canto that those who are not on this Sudha Sattva platform, who are not reciprocating with the Haladini Shakti, that actually sitting in a room and trying to just think about Krishna's pastimes, it's actually not good for you. Actually, for those who are practicing, sadhana, practice the sadhana, they should actually see how the material modes are working, and they should really understand the difference between matter, spirit, and the controller of both. We should hear these pastimes. It's not that we shouldn't hear the pastimes, but we have to understand how these pastimes work in our daily lives. It's not that this is sahaja mentality. I like Leela. I just want to listen to Leela, but I don't want to actually apply aspects of the Leela into our daily lives. That's why my class is a little bit of Leela, but I really want to hit on some philosophical points as far as how we can apply some of these points in our lives. Because you see Gumaraj, his own body because of Swami Maharaj, he was his Mother Yashoda. He was giving classes and classes on just Mother Yashoda and it's because he's on that platform. He's absorbed, and he's seeing the Leela. I'm not seeing the Leela. I'm not. So because I'm not seeing it, I need to understand how I can take aspects of that Leela into my daily life. And that Leela, the best thing that you can take from that is that Krishna becomes bound by the love of his devotees, and we should strive to serve Krishna. He becomes bounded by the love of his devotees. Similarly, in this pastime, you see that Krishna becomes love of Ra. He became bound by the love of Bhumi Devi. Although Hiranyaksha was insulting him, he became bound by her love, and he saved her. He saved her. Even though he wanted to first kill the demon, he put aside his own agenda for the satisfaction of his devotee. So this is glorious. This is very glorious how bhakti can bound Krishna. It's very glorious. It's very only, like I said, only devotees can understand how bhakti can bound Bhagavan. So like I said, but like I said, there is benefits to listening to Leela. Can you go to Canto 3, Canto 3, Chapter 19, text 37 and 38? Yeah, so these are just, you can just go to is the way you can just go to anyway, it's fine. So, O Brahmanas, anyone who hears, chants, or takes pleasure in the wonderful narration of the killing of the Hiranyaksha demon by the Lord, who appeared as the firstborn in order to deliver the world, is at once relieved of the results of sinful activities, even the killing of a Brahmana. And can you go to the next verse? The most sacred narrative this is in refers to the Lord pastime, confers extraordinary merit, wealth, fame, longevity, and all the objects of one's desire. On the field of battle, it promotes the strength of one's vital organs and organs of action. One who listens to it at the last moment of his life is transferred to supreme abode of the Lord, oh dear, which is Shaunaka. So, like, yeah, these pastimes, there's so many benedictions that we get just by listening and hearing these pastimes with a humble and simple mind. That's the key. You have to be humble and to be simple to actually receive it. Either way, you'll get some. The thing is, we as devotees aren't seeking benedictions. Like, that's his Haranya Kashipu. Actually, it's funny because when I first read Krishna book, I saw that every pastime was like a benediction. I was like, oh my God, like, I can defeat death. I can defeat all my enemies. And it's like this demon mentality, like, I'm only reading this because I want to get benedictions. Like, just like Hiranyakashipu, I'm only serving Lord Brahman so I can get benedictions. But ultimately, like, the highest benediction is just chanting Hare Krishna. Like, what more do you want? Like, actually, in the body of Krishna, all the incarnations are present. So Lord Varahadev is present in the body of Krishna. When we chant Hare Krishna, Lord Varahadev is present. He's there in the body of Krishna. So, just like I said, how Lord Varaha came to pick up the earth with his tusk. Krishna is picking us up through the tusk of the holy name. We just have to simply be there and receive his mercy. So I'll stop my class there. I'll open up for any corrections, comments, or inquiries.
Hare Krishna. So, just like we see the Lord, bore the pain of the abusive words of the demon and protected the earth, the other side that we can see is how the earth, even though Bhudevi was frightened by the demon, and before this they're like fighting.
Yeah.
The Lord and Hiranyaksha are fighting with each other. And we can see that even though she was right with him there, she also tolerated it.
That's a good point.
And she was frightened, but she didn't give her Lord a hard time because she was frightened. She had patience. She tolerated also. And that tolerance that is exhibited by the dependent, even though the dependent's tolerance level is far lower than the protector, the master, Supreme Lord's tolerance level is definitely greater. He's fighting. He's fighting, this abusive words. But the Supreme Lord's, so the dependent's tolerance is always less than that of the protector. Yet, what Bhudevi shows here is she shows faith in the Lord. She shows faith, and her faith is displayed by her patience. She is not expected to act like, like Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita, Sukha Dukkha Samandhiram. That he perceives labha labho jaya jayo, that he sees gain and loss as the same, or she's simple-hearted and she's able to express her emotions, yet not in a manner that disturbs her Lord. And the Lord, seeing that quality in her, his attention goes to that. Although his attention prior to this was all on Hiranyaksha, his attention goes to her because she's patient. And this is a very, very important quality to understand, how patience and tolerance attracts the attention of those who we seek to be protected by. It's the same thing when a disciple is serving the spiritual master patiently, tolerating all difficulties with faith, and the spiritual master's attention turns towards us. Same thing, and this comes in the verse. Brahma states this, Tatteno kampam susamikshamano bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam Hridvag vabubhir vidadhan namaste jiveta yo mukti sapade jiveta yo mukti pade sadaya bak. That the devotee patiently tolerates all kinds of difficulties, considering them to be the result of his past misdeeds, and offering obeisances with his heart, hrid, vag, speech, vapu, body. That he offers obeisances to the Supreme Lord, hrid, vag, vapu, vidadan namaste. And such a person becomes samukti pade, that he is already liberated. Such a person is already liberated. And this is the reason why we worship the consort of the Lord, that she displays this perfect devotional mentality. Perfect devotee. And so, yeah. So
That's a good point. Like this patience, it's almost as if Krishna tests the patience of his devotees.
Yeah.
In the pastime with Kaliya, he was like, wrapped up in her coils. Kaliya's coils, and like it said that the residents of Vrindavan, they were fainting. They were almost about to die, and like at the very minute when Krishna realized okay, they can't take enough. That's when he started expanding himself. Because it's interesting, like Krishna will actually test your patience. You'll see how patient you are, just so that if you actually, of course, the residents of Vrindavan are worthy of always being, saved and rescued. But for us, for me, neophyte, it'll test your patience, see if you're even qualified to receive this mercy.
Yeah, and it's very important to understand that as devotees who are seeking shelter in different ways, right? Of course, ultimately we are seeking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we're seeking shelter of His representative, the spiritual master, our Guru. Then we also take shelter of other senior devotees. Like this, we have to understand that if we don't develop a quality of tolerance and patience, and we just create a big disturbance, we will become very, everything will go bad. But if we have some patience and tolerance, there's multiple levels. All of us are practicing Krishna consciousness in multiple ways, in different circumstances. And we should be at least that much intelligent to understand where our position is and how we should act in that regard.
That's a good point. But it develops naturally, though, like, because in karma society, it's like, it's actually encouraged, like, those who are, like, quick to anger are, like, glorified, like, the guy who's, like, who can't tolerate any...
He gave it to them.
Yeah, he didn't tolerate any offense, he didn't tolerate nothing. But, it's a perverted reflection, actually, this tolerance is the greatest quality of a devotee. You see that, like I said, in the residents of Vrindavan. Even, like, with, like, Prahlad Maharaj, he's so tolerant. He tolerated his father. He knew that, Krishna was always going to protect him, even in the face of difficulties. And that's a good point. I didn't think about that as far as her. She also had to tolerate a lot from the demon. She also had to tolerate a lot from the demon, but she didn't cry out to him, Krishna. She just waited for the mercy. Okay.
I'd like this point you made about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that I'm falling down into the ocean, so please pick me up. And you said the tusk of the holy name. And I was thinking in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to the home of Murari Gupta and he takes on the form of Radha.
Yeah, I heard about this. Yeah.
And he's actually, there's some relevance and connection to the verse that you're stating today, because he's telling Murari Gupta, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says that the words of the Mayavadis, they hurt my body. So he's asking Murari Gupta to basically glorify him. It's a very interesting pastime, but I just thought I'd mention that because it's appropriate.
Yeah, I think I actually I think I listened to a class, and then that pastime came up as far as in Chaitanya Leela.
There's a painting of it somewhere.
It's a painting of it?
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
Chaitanya
wow.
Mahaprabhu, like in the home of his devotee, and he's dancing like Varahadev.
Oh, wow. That's interesting, though, because it's like, in Chaitanya Leela, like, he'll exhibit all these different, like, avatars in respective, like, for respective devotees, depending on the situation. Yeah.
I had like an experience that was a little contradictory to like the last point, although I see the validity of it. But I was on book distribution, door to door, And we like circled around the whole neighborhood, and nobody was hardly answering the doors. Those who did were just being like super frugal, like no donations. And then we stopped at this last house. The lady opened the door. She seemed like really sweet, like a prime candidate. And then she was, oh yeah, I'll definitely take the books. And I was like, oh, we'll just ask some donation. We want people to value them. And she was like, oh no, I'm okay then. I was like, no, you can just give whatever you'd like. And she's like, no, I'm okay. Can't even give $1? Nothing? She's like, no, I'm okay. I was like, shocked. I walked away like super fried out. A lot of things were going through my head. And I went to like one super, I was like, your people are like finished. Like these people are like, I was like ridiculous. And then we packed the van or the Mazda, and we're about to we literally like did like a circle and like leave. And then like I saw a house that I didn't like get. And then it had like lotus flowers on the thing. I was like, let me try this real quick. And I walked up with the SUP, and I was like still like thinking like this is like a useless endeavor. I was like completely impatient. And I knocked on the door. Here I'd already gotten a SUPTA from us, and you can tell these people are you can see they're like a prime candidate. He was like really sweet, and then I'll see the Bhagavatam though, and then so I brought him and showed it to him, and I was like pretty grumpy, but then like halfway I realized like he might actually take it, and then so I just asked for like 1,000. He gave like 500, and took a Bhagavatam and CC.
I mean, you were patient. You didn't realize it, my man. So pretty much, sorry, Prabhu. I'm sorry, Prabhu. But like the thing is, you didn't give up. You could have with that last Mataji, you could have said, okay, I'm done. Hang the boots up, I'm done. But like you stuck it out. Even if your mindset wasn't 100% pure, you stuck it out, and you were actually patient in regards that you did try the next house. So it's like, that's another thing, is just like, we can't give up. And even if we're not in the best mood and we don't have the right mentality, if we just don't give up on the process of Krishna consciousness, even if we don't have a pure motive or desire to serve, you just don't give up. Just don't give up. Krishna he will show his mercy on you. Just don't give up. I had that experience yesterday, actually. I'm like, man, nobody's taking a SUPTA. It's like so many people, I'm talking to everybody. Somebody, please. I was like, you know what? Somebody's going to take a SUPTA. Somebody, I don't care. Somebody's taking this. And then, like, somebody gave me $20. So I was like, okay, $20 of mercy, what I'm going to do. I just met this couple. This dude gave me $20, and she gave me $20. So I was like, okay. And now he was like, yeah, you approached the right couple. You approached the right couple because we're definitely into this. But if I didn't say anything, if I just got mental, then they wouldn't have never got it. But I didn't give up. So that's another thing. Around books or even, in process of consciousness, just don't give up. Just do not give up. So, yeah. Okay. Madhajis? Okay. Shriya, bro. Appearance day, key. Jai.